How's it going, guys? It's Brian, and today I'm going to tell you guys my Call of Duty Ghosts wish list. Now, when I say wish list, I basically mean things that I kind of hope they've either improved or done to the game that I didn't so much like in Black Ops 2, as well as some of them are direct changes that I hope they made from this game, because this game, well, Black Ops 2 was good, and it was probably up there with the better Call of Duties. It definitely wasn't anything amazing for me, to be honest, and the reason I'm actually somewhat excited for Ghosts is everyone who's played it, everyone who went to the multiplayer reveal has actually said that it is really good, and that if anything it's taken it back to kind of what COD 4 did and revolutionized multiplayer. And I don't think Ghosts is gonna be as big of a deal, but I'm just saying I feel like it's gonna, people are saying multiplayer is actually kind of withstanding the level that COD 4 was at and making multiplayer good again. As well as a single player has a bit of a cool theme to it this time, but obviously that takes place second fiddle to the multiplayer, or I think that's how that goes. I'm pretty sure a fiddle is an instrument, or it's a type of noodle, I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, I have my wish list right here, and also some of this stuff we can't really tell until the game comes out, and others they just haven't even addressed yet. And if there is something that they have addressed, please inform me in the comments. Speaking of which, also thank you guys for being awesome and getting us to like 30 subscribers, or around 30 subscribers, something like that, in almost like 2 weeks or something like that, which is pretty awesome. I like being able to see more on the old channels, having like almost 1,000 subscribers and not seeing nearly that many views was a bit disappointing. So it's nice to see how many people are actually watching with the community. But anyway, on to the first thing. And this was something that was a big deal with Black Ops 2. A lot of people were upset when the game came out, and that, especially me in the beginning, and that was the connection. Connection is basically, 3 bar, 4 bar, or not, I don't even know if it goes up to, I think it's 4 bar, and basically how much you are connected to the game. And a lot of people had problems with this because Black Ops 2 had really, really bad connection in the beginning. I mean, people could not play the multiplayer, me being one of them, because it was just completely unfair. Everyone had an advantage on you. It was like you were 2 seconds behind everyone else, and in a Twitch shooter like Call of Duty, that is a big deal when you're 2 seconds behind everyone else. 2 seconds is really a big deal. It's not something like, a strategy game or a turn-based game where being 2 seconds behind the other person doesn't make that much of a difference. In this one, it really does. And I'm hoping that they fix connectivity problems, and I can't recall 100%, but I did remember hearing something about dedicated servers, which, to basically, for those of you who don't know a ton about the connection, basically what Black Ops 2 did is it had someone be the host of the game, basically meaning they had the best connection, and everyone had to connect to that person. So therefore, one person could be doing significantly better than everyone else because they aren't having any lag or anything like that. Whereas dedicated servers are servers that the players connect to. So instead of connecting to the other players, you're just connecting to that server. So it kind of, I'm not myself, I'm not too versed in the topic. I think that's how that saying goes. I'm not too versed in that topic, but from what I understand, it's you are connecting to that server, as well as everyone is just going to benefit and have better connection to the server and much less lag and unfairness. So if there's anyone who knows specifically, knows the exact definition of it and wants to tell anybody in the comments, feel free, or let me know what exactly dedicated server means, because I have an idea. But I have heard rumors, I'm not sure if it was 100% true, but I'm pretty sure Ghost is going to have dedicated servers, which would be awesome because that would fix a lot of connectivity problems. And connection was just terrible, especially if you had a strict NAT type. It meant you were essentially at a horrible disadvantage. I spent days upon days trying to get into my router, open up my NAT type so I had better connection and all that stuff. And in the beginning it didn't really matter because I wasn't all that good at Call of Duty, but as I got better and better, and it actually, and I had this higher standard of doing well in games, I slowly started to get more and more enraged at the fact that my connection wasn't as good. So, because before I didn't really care. I could have gone like 0-6 and would have been fine with that, but as I got better and better, I kind of had a higher standard for my games. And then second one, probably the second most important in my opinion other than connectivity, would be matchmaking. And when I say matchmaking, I mean basically when you go to join a game, when you try to select team deathmatch or whatever, when I say matchmaking, I hope it means one thing that happens is you will be playing and you'll join a game, and half the time you'll get in a lobby that's already started halfway through the game, or you're just getting destroyed on one team. It's like 30-6, and it's really sucks, So I'm hoping that the matchmaking is better. It'll try to get you in matches that are just starting, as well as not just try to shove you in a match that someone else left, because most likely there's a reason they left, because the game was obviously not going in their favor. So I just hope it makes an effort to get you in games that have just started, instead of shoving you into games that are almost basically over. I mean, that's the worst, when you get into a game and you're on a streak, but the other team or your team has basically already won the game. So yeah, I hope that kind of goes with the connectivity a little bit. Hopefully they just kind of improve all the networking and everything all together. And yeah, next one is map variety. This is also pretty big. In Black Ops 2, obviously the submachine guns were the dominant class. It was pretty ridiculous to try to use any other gun. You were going to win if you had an SMG. And it was also due to the fact that the maps were very close quarters, and very SMG focused. You could, like, especially Hijacked right here. This is a very close quarters map. There are a couple lines of sight, but for the most part, if you have a submachine gun, you are going to dominate. As my gameplay kind of here shows, I have the Scorpion, one of the best SMGs in the game, and I did really, really well. But yeah, so what I want to see is maps that are larger, and from what people have said from the maps they have played, there are a few small maps as well as but there are some big maps that allow for people to actually make use of a sniper instead of just quick scoping. You can actually have good lines of sight and snipe and whatnot, as well as be able to use assault rifles, and essentially have places where the SMG can be outclassed, because in this game you can use an SMG on any map and do good, but there are a few maps where you can pull out a sniper and also do just as well, or pull out an LMG. So I want there to be maps where you're not making the smart choice when you're using an SMG, where there's long ranges of sight or long lines of sight and whatnot. So that will also be nice. And they have sort of said that there are larger maps, which is pretty good. And then next one, weapon balancing. This has obviously always been a big part of any multiplayer shooter, really. I want to see classes where there's not a dominant gun. For instance, SMGs, obviously best class of guns in this game in Black Ops 2 whatsoever. Like, there's no question about it. SMGs are the way to go. In Modern Warfare 3, at least in my opinion, it was the assault rifles. Modern Warfare 2, I actually think also had a very good map variety as well as weapon balance. I thought Modern Warfare 2 had a really good balance to it. Same with Black Ops, the original Black Ops, although there were some assault rifles in there. Now, there are always going to be guns that are just better than others, like the MSMC or the AK-74U, or the trying to think of some more here, or just there are always going to be guns that are better than all the other ones. So yeah, that's always going to be a problem, but I just hope that you should never feel like you don't have a good gun to use. You should always feel like there's a gun that you can use and you will do well with. You should always feel like that, and not feel like, I need to level up a few more times to get this gun. And lastly, one that I really, really want to see, and that's Call of Duty single player. Single player in Call of Duty obviously hasn't been the biggest focus over the last few games, but I'm hoping that they improve the single player experience by making it less linear, not so much a generic shooter being shoved down a path, shoot all these guys, move on, and then do the same thing again with the turret segment every now and then. I want to see more choice, and not Black Ops 2 specifically. You have two choices: either sit up here and snipe, or go down the side and go again with them, or whatever. I want to see legitimate, let me figure it out myself. Let me try to go around and try to figure out my own ways of doing things. Let me do that. Which they've actually said that there are missions where they'll drop you into it and you will get lost, which I'm kind of excited for, because I want to be able to figure stuff out on my own. I want not just to be a big gun fest, which, I mean, that's kind of what Call of Duty is, but as well as the story itself also seems very, very promising, and I'm kind of excited because it's interesting, because at least what I caught from the trailer, they said something about our enemies came from south of the border, so that leads me to think South America, which would be really cool. And that was my wish list for Call of Duty Ghosts. Let me know what you guys really want to see, if there's anything you agree with me on, or something I missed. And thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe or go check out some more of my videos, and I will see you guys later.